Well, I was born in the village of Thermiskin, right under the shadow of a round tower, a large Celtic cross and an old monastery. So that was my hunting ground. I really got interested in history from the age of 4, 5, 6 on. I was always questioning, why was that built? Why did people live like that? And that's what made me interested in history. The original monastery was on that position. The monastery here was founded by St. Patrick, built in the 6th, 7th century, and it remained in this position, was attacked several times by the Vikings in the 9th century, and eventually was abandoned in about the 11th or 12th century. I came across this photograph of that piece of the cross in the ground, and that, by another coincidence, is my uncle in 1914. The Vikings were very, very clever people. They didn't raid and wipe a monastery out. They'd probably arrive at the gates and say, we'll demolish it unless you pay us. So they were paid to keep away. When all funds were gone from the monasteries, they'd raided everything, then they would just wipe them out and move off. I was interested in the Linns and in the history associated with the Linns. The folklore that exists up to then was that the Vikings had a site in Lindookle, and it had to be a naval site. We got an archaeological dig done on the site, a test pit. Then we got a geophysics survey done. The minute we got the geophysics survey done in the field that we targeted, we said, bingo, archaeology everywhere. And it turned out to be a massive town of Vikings. This is what the Vikings would have seen when they arrived here in 841. This is a map of the area. We are now standing at that point, and we're up on top of this Duran fort. The combined rivers of the Dee and the Glyde sweep right round and out to sea there. All the land that you see on the other side of the river is the Linns of Annigaston, which is Lindookle, and the Viking site. And that's where the Vikings first, when they first came here in 841, they overwintered here, established this as the Viking site, and they were here for 90 years. Then they just packed up and left. By 2010 it was published, and it went worldwide and made a big buzz. After that, it was put to bed because we had a lack of funds, and since then we haven't been able to raise funds to do any more digs, but hopefully one day we will. My mother, Lord Mercer, she's dead a long, long time, but she said the first time that she caught me doing anything creative was with a bit of chalk and drawing on the floors, which she thought was hilarious because it was chalk. Good job it wasn't felt pens at the time, because I probably would have destroyed the house. I suppose being creative is what motivates me, and doing art all my life. I worked up most of my life as an engineer, but in conjunction with that I was doing paintings all my life and sculpture. Anything to do with being creative. This is the Brown Bull of Cooley. This is my sculpture on the Brown Bull of Cooley, on Táin Bó Cúailnge. It's made from stainless steel wire. There are about 300 or 400 metres of wire in it, and about 2,000 wells. It's about 5.5 metres in length and about 3.5 metres in height. And it's just recently been given to me as a commission to do a piece of public art from my home village here in Blackrock. And it's a stainless steel representation of a man and a woman collecting cockles. One of the things I do is I do a series of drawings. Now, for instance, I've just started this. That's the scale that your sculpture will be at. That's a profile of a head of one of the pieces in it. I turned that into a plywood model of it. That's a piece of steel. That's then wrapped round it, welded, and I go on making the whole thing till the finished model is made. That's how it's done. What actually happens is when you research a bit of history, find something new, That's being creative, and that's a buzz. That's a great buzz, because what you've done then is you've put something out in the field, in the public field, that's as good as doing a painting. That's being creative.